Hello, YouTube. Venus is a strange and very dangerous planet. The temperature in some of its regions sometimes reaches 480 degrees Celsius. Sulfuric acid rains from the sky, and the pressure on its surface is equivalent to the pressure in the depths of the Earth's oceans. However, Venus is unique in our solar system for a completely different reason. A day in this world lasts more than a year. In order to completely circumnavigate the Sun, the planet needs 225 days, whereas a complete rotation around its own axis takes 243 days. In addition, Venus is the only planet that rotates around the star in the opposite direction to the rotation of other planets. How do these anomalies affect Venus itself? From a human point of view, it is very unfortunate. Because of such a slow rotation, one half of the planet receives a huge dose of solar heat and radiation until finally it is replaced by the night side. An international team of scientists, using data obtained by the Venus Express spacecraft, launched into space by European Space Agency, not long ago discovered that there are also very significant differences between the day and night sides of Venus. For the first time in history, astronomers have described in detail the night side of the planet, unique cloud structures, and even mysterious displacements of atmospheric layers that could be seen only in the darkness of night. Research suggests Venus was once a habitable planet, similar to Earth. A 2019 study from NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies found that Venus could have had shallow oceans on the surface for 2 to 3 billion years, and this would have supported temperatures of between 68 to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Around 700 million years ago, though, a resurfacing event released carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, turning Venus into a dangerous, inhospitable planet with atmospheric temperatures reaches 1000 degrees Fahrenheit. One of the oldest unsolved mysteries of the solar system is connected with the planet Venus. It is called the Ashen light of Venus. This is a faint glow allegedly observed on the unlit part of the second planet from the Sun during its crescent phase. According to eyewitnesses, it looks like the glow of a part of the lunar disk in the shadow. Although the ashen light of Venus is not so bright, this phenomenon can allegedly be observed more often at the time when Venus appears in the evening sky. And if in the case of the moon it is clear to astronomers what causes the glow of its dark side, no one knows exactly what really causes this strange phenomenon on Venus. It is an unsolved mystery. This strange glow was first noticed in the year 1643 by the Italian astronomer Giovanni Battista Riccioli. Many famous astronomers later also reported similar observations. However, such luminaries of science as William Herschel have not been able to see this phenomenon in their entire lives. And that's why official science claims that the ashen light of Venus is caused by nothing more than an observer error, and that all this is just an illusion or some kind of atmospheric effect or equipment malfunction. And indeed, after all, no one has yet managed to take a picture of the ashen light of Venus. However, the debate on this issue has not stopped for many years. There are many different theories about the nature of the ashen light. And once the Keck-1 telescope located in Hawaii reported the detection of a faint green glow in the atmosphere of Venus, and experts have suggested that this phenomenon may be caused by the fact that ultraviolet light from the sun breaks down carbon dioxide molecules, which is known to be a common ingredient in the atmosphere of the hot planet. It breaks down into carbon monoxide and oxygen. At the same time, green light is emitted since oxygen recombines. However, such a source of luminescence is too weak to explain the Ashen light of Venus. Another more likely possibility is that the sky of the second planet from the Sun is illuminated by multiple lightning strikes. The Cassini spacecraft flew past Venus twice during its journey to Saturn, but it could not detect the high-frequency radio noise that powerful thunderstorms should generate. However, in 2007, the Venus Express spacecraft detected low-frequency radio waves that can occur as a result of lightning. Or maybe the Ashen light of Venus is the Venusian equivalent of the auroras on our planet, although it is unlikely. After all, the magnetic field of this planet is very weak. But by far the strangest theory was proposed in the early 19th century by the Bavarian astronomer Franz von Grüthuizen. He suggested that the Ashen light of Venus is the result of fires. They are allegedly initiated by the inhabitants of Venus to clear the land for the needs of agriculture or to celebrate something. Remember those low-frequency radio waves, ladies and gentlemen. I'm also sure that China will get some knowledge, and not long from now, more details are emerging about China's potential mission to Venus as part of the country's expanding space exploration program. The proposed mission, called the Venus Volcano Imaging and Climate Explorer, or VOICE, would launch in 2026 and then arrive in orbit around the hottest and brightest planet in the solar system in the year 2027. And that's according to details from the open source July 9 meeting information, which got together to discuss this mission. The spacecraft would use a circular polar orbit with an altitude of 220 miles, 350 kilometers, to investigate Venus' geological evolution, the thermal and chemical processes in the planet's atmosphere, the surface-atmosphere interactions, and the potential for a habitable environment and life in the Venusian clouds. And the July 9 meeting I'm referring to the year 2022. Science instruments would include an S-band polarimetric synthetic aperture radar, which could peer through the Venusian clouds and map the surface, and a multispectral imager that could observe Venus in the ultraviolet, visible, and near-infrared wavelengths. VOICE is a candidate mission for a space science program somewhat separate from China's main lunar and planetary exploration missions led by the China National Space Administration, which include the ongoing Tianwen-1 Mars mission and the planned Tianwen-2 near-Earth asteroid and Mars sample return missions. The proposed mission is instead being assessed as one of the 13 candidate missions under the Third Strategic Priority Program, SPP, on space science, led by the Chinese Academy of Sciences. The VOICE mission appears to be competing with three others in the category of planetary and Earth science. The E-type asteroid sample return mission to collect samples from the asteroid 1989 ML, very interesting by the way, and deliver them to Earth, and the low Earth orbit climate and atmospheric components exploring satellites mission, and the ocean surface current multi-scale observation mission. China is very busy. It is not clear how many missions will be approved, but the candidates will be evaluated in the near future based on the available budget, technology readiness, and manufacturing schedule. Other proposals are in the fields of astronomy and astrophysics, exoplanets, the closely habitable exoplanet survey, and Earth 2.0 telescopes, and heliophysics. The first round of China's SPP missions saw the launch of 4 spacecraft, including a dark matter hunting probe and a quantum science satellite. Second SPP round missions will include the Einstein probe to investigate extreme physics and the solar wind magnetosphere ionosphere link explorer, a collaboration with the European Space Agency to explore the interactions between the Sun and Earth. And the third round of missions would likely launch between 2026 and the end of the decade. If selected, Voice would join a pair of NASA missions to Venus, Veritas and Da Vinci, and the ESA's Envision spacecraft as part of the wave of renewed interest in Venus. Do you understand that something is really getting the attention of our space exploration programs to bring them back to Venus? In addition, California-based Rocket Lab aims to launch a private Venus mission in 2023, and India plans to send the Shukrayan orbiter to space a year later. Russia has also announced plans for a mission named Venera-D, scheduled to launch in 2029, but at this point, potential NASA involvement in the mission was ended by the Russia's invasion of Ukraine. I will be telling you more about the planet Venus. It has other strangers, or maybe I should say strangeness, that we should look at. Really, really interesting and very unusual planet, even judging by the standards of the solar system. I want to thank you for your attention to my work. If you can support my research, please find the links in the description to this video. Please like my videos as well. Please subscribe.